Hello everyone, Michael here for Tactica Imperialis with the sixth part of my analysis of Codex Dark Angels. Today I'm looking at the fast attack section, which is mostly Ravenwing and then the assault squad. So let's go. So your first unit is the Ravenwing attack squadron. This is your biker squad. It's 80 points for 2 bikers and a sergeant, and it's 27 points to add additional bikers. You're allowed 6 bikers in a squad. You can then add an attack bike, which is standard, and a land speeder. This is new. You can add a land speeder in if you take all 6 Ravenwing bikers from the support squadron section, meaning you can get 3 land speeders and 18 bikes and 3 attack bikes in your fast attack slots, which is pretty powerful. In Ravenwing bikers, you just get your basic biker, so bolt pistol, power armor, twin-link bolt gun on the bike. The attack bike has heavy bolter, frag and crack grenades, but you also get a teleport homer, which is useful because it means that Terminators can deep strike within 6 inches, no scatter. Perfect. Which is a very fluffy addition as well as being damn useful. Especially if you're playing Deathwing Assault, you turbo boost a Ravenwing up and bring down the Termies. Ow. They have They Shall Know No Fear, Grim Resolve, Scouts and Hit and Run, which makes them slightly better than regular bikers. And they also have Ravenwing combat squads. They don't combat squad in the same way. If you remember my analysis from Codex Space Marines, a regular Space Marine bike squad splits into 5 and 3 in the attack bike. In Ravenwing, it splits into 2 threes of bikers. The attack bike and the land speeder function as completely independent units, regardless. They never attach to the biker squad. So you have a 6-man squad, and then 1 bike and 1 land speeder. You can then split the 6-man into 2 threes if you wish. That's how that works. It's an interesting method. I guess it means that you can have tank hunting attack bikes not having to be bound to anti-infantry bike squad, so it's quite useful. So yeah, 6 in a squad, 27 points. You may swap the bolt pistol for a chainsword. I don't know why you would do this. I don't think you're going to get an extra attack out of it because you still only have 1 weapon. So I guess it's maybe useful, but I'm not sure. You may take a flamer, melter gun, or plasma gun. 2 special weapons available in the squad. 5, 10, and 15 points. I would say plasma for most things. Melter if you're getting up close, which you should be. And flamer if you're really getting up close and you know your role is anti-infantry. You may upgrade your sergeant to a veteran sergeant. Is he worth it? You get an extra attack, which is not that useful, but an extra leadership, which is. You may take melter bombs, melee and range weapons like usual, which is quite a useful thing, though again I wouldn't look at melee weapons because you don't want to be assaulting with bike squads. Check out my Bikes Tactica video in the tactics playlist for that. You may include 1 attack bike, 45 points, which has a heavy bolter, which you can then upgrade to a multi-melter. If you take 6 bikers, you can then take a land speeder. Land speeders are 50 points, 10 all round, 2 hull points, BS4. Fast skimmer, nothing new. They have deep strike and a heavy bolter. You can have 4 land speeders in a squad. Of course, you can only have 1 land speeder in your attack squadron, but you can then take land speeders separately as a support squadron of up to 5. Any land speeder may swap heavy bolter for heavy flamer for free, or 10 points for a multi-melter. Again, this depends on its role. You can then customize it further by upgrading it to a Typhoon pattern with Typhoon missile launcher, which is basically just a 2-shot rocket launcher, really. And this combines best with heavy bolters and heavy flamers because it makes it more anti-infantry, or you could do it with a multi-melter for more anti-tank. Or you can go Tornado pattern and mount a heavy bolter, heavy flamer, multi-melter, or assault cannon. Any of the 4. Only one of them, though. And then you can really go to town. So you can have assault cannon, heavy bolter, for mass anti-infantry, double multi-melter, double heavy flamer. I've really been on the end of double heavy flamer. It's not nice. You maybe saw it in my Space Wolf battle report. And there's nothing really more to say about them. They're just using the same way as regular fast vehicles. I might do a tactica on fast vehicles later on. Then you have veteran bikers. They're called Black Knights. They're 126 points for 3 and 42 points each, which is a really random number. I don't know where they got that from. So they're basically the same as a veteran sergeant. So 4 T5, initiative 4, 2 attacks, leadership 9. They have a very much improved bike. Instead of having a twin-link bolter, they have a plasma talon, which is a twin-linked 18-inch range plasma gun. That's powerful on a bike. Everybody's got plasma guns based, twin-link plasmas basically, although they are only 6-inch shorter range. They also have Corvus hammers, which give them +1 strength and rending in melee. They're not power weapons, but they're still good. And they give them a chance to hurt vehicles, because obviously if you roll a 6 to penetrate with a rending weapon, you then roll an extra d3. They also have teleport homers, grenades, bolt pistol. They Shall Know No Fear, Grim Resolve, Hit and Run, Scouts, and they also have Skilled Rider. They don't combat squad, but you can give them Skilled Rider, which means that they either ignore or re-roll failed dangerous terrain tests, which is very, very useful, especially combined with Samuel, who's also a Skilled Rider. You can have 10 in a squad, and for every 3, you may replace 1 Plasma Talon with a Ravenwing grenade launcher. This is basically similar to the Imperial Guard grenade launcher, so 3/6 blast, 6/4 not blast, but there's 2 other shells as well, exclusive to the Ravenwing. They are the Rad Shell and the Stasis Shell. The Rad Shell is Strength 3, AP nothing, blast, but every model hit by it is -1 toughness. Not wounded, hit. So everything under that small template is -1 toughness. That's really useful, especially if you're going into assault. You're now wounding probably on 2s in most cases. And the Stasis Shell doesn't actually have a strength bite. It can't hurt you. And these 2 have 12 in range. The Frag and Crack have 24, but these 2 only have 12. And this is a blast, so everything under this blast from the Stasis Shell is -1 weapon skill and -1 initiative. So this really encourages you to go all out on grenade launchers, because you can fire 1 Rad Shell, 1 Stasis Shell, and they're at -1 T, -1 WS, and -1 initiative. That's really powerful, and it's a free upgrade as well. Yes, you lose some plasma guns, but it's a really powerful grenade launcher, if you ask me. And especially if you're going into assault, because they're only short range anyway, and they'll allow you to do a lot of damage. The Huntsmaster, which is your champion, your sergeant, may replace his Corvus Hammer with a power weapon for 12 points. Again, stupid number, don't ask me why. But is it worth it? Power weapon, so Strength 4 AP3 versus Strength 5 AP nothing rending. It's hard to call. I mean, if you're knowing you're going against Marine spam, yes, it's probably worth it. If you're going against just massed infantry, no, probably not. You want to get as many wounds out of your attacks as possible. And then he may take Melter Bombs. I would again not recommend Melter Bombs. If you had a Melter Gun, yes. Melter Bombs, no, because you're not really going to be assaulting with these guys, at least not into vehicles generally, unless you really know you can take it down because it's got a very low armor value. And then there is a unique land speeder. There's 2 unique land speeders. One's in heavy support, so I'm going to cover that in my next video next week. This is the Ravenwing Dark Shroud. It's the same profile as a land speeder, so 10, 10, 10, 2 hull points, BS4. Fast skimmer with a heavy bolter, but you can upgrade to an assault cannon for 20 points. You've only got 1 weapon. However, it then has deep strike, scouts, and stealth. This is very, very useful. So now it's more agile than a regular land speeder because it's got scouts. It's got stealth, so it has a 6+ cover save, and it has 2 extra rules: the Shroud of Angels and the Icon of Old Caliban. Now, what do they do? Good question. The Icon of Old Caliban means that all Dark Angels within 12 inches have +1 combat resolution. This is similar to Imperial Guard standards, actually. So all your combats going within 12 inches of this land speeder mean you've got +1 to the result. So if you're losing by 1, it's a tie. If you're winning by 1, you win by 2. And so on. And this can really help tip a balance, particularly with assaults which Ravenwing don't want to get stuck in. And if they're going to get bogged down, they can just hit and run out anyway. And then the Shroud of Angels. The Ravenwing Dark Shroud has Shrouded. This is very, very useful. In addition, all friendly units within 6 inches gain Stealth. So everything within 6 inches has a 6+ cover save. It has a 5+ cover save. In the armor, it says it has Stealth as well, which will give it a 4+ cover save, but it isn't mentioned here. Slightly confused, because it says here specifically the Stealth does not affect the Dark Shroud. So is it a 5+ or is it a 4+? This is what we need FAQs for. But it's very useful either way. Then there are a couple more things. The Assault Squad, the only non-Ravenwing thing in the fast attack section. Pretty bog standard, 85 points, 17 points a model. Tactical Marines, basically with jump packs, bolt pistol, chainsword, and grenades. Grim Resolve, combat squads, they shall know no fear. Nothing new here. 2 guys may take a flamer or plasma pistol. This is nice. Flamer for what flamers do, and plasma pistols for what plasma pistols do. I would probably say more lean towards the plasma pistol because you don't lose any melee attacks as a result. May upgrade to a veteran sergeant. I would thoroughly recommend this. It's another attack, if nothing else. You may take melee or ranged weapons, up to you. If you are happy with a chainsword, take a chainsword. If you want something more, you splash out in a lightning claw. But I wouldn't, because assault squads generally are a bit chaff. They will go down generally. So I would not be too lavish. A power weapon at best. may take melter bombs, and this is something it's quite nice. You can take the jump packs off. So if you think, right, I want guys with bolt pistol and chainsaw, but I don't fancy assault marines, say I'll take an assault squad, take off. Hang on, guys, we're right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, phone rang. I was talking about assault squads, and they have the ability, as I was saying, to take their jump packs off. If you just want bolt pistol and chainsaw guys but don't want jump infantry, you can do this, and you get a free drop pod or rhino for this. Now, I don't know if this is as viable as doing it with company veterans. Yes, it's cheaper, but you're getting one more attack per model with company veterans, who can have free bolt pistol and chainsaw swaps. If I remember, yes, they can. So you could do it either way. The assault squad is the cheaper option. The company veterans are the more powerful option. But it's a free transport if nothing else. And then they have two flyers in the Dark Angels, the Nephilim and the Dark Talon. The Nephilim jet fighter is your typical flyer. It's BS4, 11 all round, 3 hull points, flyer. Twin-link heavy bolter, twin-link las cannon, so it's good at anti-infantry, good at anti-tank, and 6 black sword missiles. A black sword missile is 6'4", 36-inch, 1 shot only, and you have 6 of them. So you've got 6 shots, strength 6, AP4, 48-inch range. No, 36-inch range. Is it that good? No, not that good. It will kill some flyers, it will kill some tanks, but that's about it. You're better off using your las cannon most of the time. It has missile lock, which I'm sure is a rulebook rule because I can't find it in here. Strafing run, which is +1 BS against ground targets usually, and unrelenting hunter. Now this is quite a nasty rule. What it does is when a Nephilim jet fighter shoots at enemy vehicles, weapon destroyed can become immobilized. So if you've blown the turret off a tank, but you think, right, I need to stop it moving, like a grav tank that's going to go and run over an objective, you can say it's immobilized instead. You can't do it the other way, so turn immobilized into weapon destroyed, but that's quite powerful in some circumstances, particularly against other flyers, because that puts it into lock velocity and forces it to go whizzing off the board instead of being able to pivot around and do some damage. So that's quite powerful. And it may replace its twin-link las cannon with an Avenger Mega Bolter, which is strength 6 AP4, 5 shots, 48-inch range. Is it any good? Yes, because it's basically an extra shot assault cannon, to put a long story short, and that's not bad on a flyer. Yes, you lose all your anti-tank ability, really, because you're now stuck with strength 6 at best, but you'll do very well at killing infantry. The other, and that's 180 points, 180. Thanks, leaning over again. The other option is the Ravenwing Dark Talon. This is 20 points cheaper, 160. Same profile, so 4, 11 all round, 3. It has Hover Strike, which is, what it does is means at the start of its movement phase, it becomes a skimmer, gains strafing run, but can't move apart from to pivot. So it basically stops and gains +1 BS against anything that isn't a flyer or a skimmer, which is very useful considering it too is armed. This one actually has 2 hurricane bolters, so it's a very good infantry shredder, especially at BS5, although it will probably go down the turn you do this, so make sure you choose carefully. It then has a rift cannon, which is a nifty little piece of war gear, I'll tell you that. It's strength 5, AP nothing, 18-inch range, heavy 1, blast, blind. So anything hit by it has to take initiative tests will become WS and possibly initiative 1 and BS1, which is very useful if you're going into assault for other units. Plus strength 5 is not bad. It then has a one-use only bomb, so you'd use it as a bombing run, like explained in the rulebook. I don't have the rulebook to hand, so I can't remember how you do it, but I think you just fly over, pick a point and drop it. It's a large blast, heavy 1, strength 3 AP 0. What's so good about strength 3 AP 0? Nothing. But it has a rule called Vast Stasis Anomaly. This is seriously powerful. Any unit hit by 1 or more weapons with this rule is -3 weapon skill and initiative. Not just model. Oh, yeah. Every model in that unit, so it's a 50-man blob, you drop it on one guy, they're all -3 weapon skill and -3 initiative. Up down to initiative and weapon skill 1. Seriously, that is powerful. And if you're about to assault with Deathwing, with power swords, suddenly you're striking first with a vastly superior weapon skill. You're hitting on 3s, they're hitting on 5s, you're going to murder them. and it fits a lot with the background of trapping the Fallen in stasis so the Deathwing and Ravenwing can capture them. Makes a lot of sense. Is it as good as the Nephilim? No. It's very specialised at boosting the rest of your army, because it's not going to kill a lot with the Rift Cannon and Stasis Bomb, nor will the Hurricane Bolters, even in Hover Strike mode. It's there to help. It's a buff flyer. It won't kill much, but it will help everything else kill a lot. The Nephilim is your general flyer, but it's more expensive than a Helldrake. Seriously, it's very expensive. So the Dark Angel's flyers are not the strongest. You can use a Nephilim, but it will take a lot of points out of your force compared to what a Helldrake or a Storm Talon would do for 10 or 15 points cheaper. So that's this section. I'll do another one next week. Hopefully, I should say I have exams starting next week. So I may not have much coming out on this channel in the next couple of weeks while I get my exams done. And then I'll try and make it up in the weeks following with being on study leave. So when I get round to it, my next video in this series, last one in this series, will be heavy support, looking at the various tanks and the Devastators, plus this new land speeder. I might do a put your money where your mouth is video for this codex as well. We'll see. And that's all for today. Be sure to leave any likes, comments, tweet me. Go check out my featured channels, Commissar Warwick, Drop Zone Labs, the usual people. I'll link a couple of them down in the description. If not, they'll just be on my general channel listings as my featured channels. So go and check them out. Thank you for watching. If you're still here, my name is Michael, and I will see you again.